It is my pleasure and honor to invite the leaders and heads of delegations to take their seats on stage. And first onto the stage, please welcome the High Commissioner to Fiji of Kiribati. The High Commissioner of Canada to the United Kingdom. The Secretary for Foreign Affairs of Mauritius. The Minister for Parliamentary Affairs and Minority Affairs of India. The Ministry of Transport and Communications of Mozambique. The Foreign Minister of Nauru. Minister of Foreign Affairs of Zambia. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of Malaysia. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of St. Kitts and Nevis. The Minister of External Affairs, International Trade and Diaspora Affairs of St. Lucia. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Trade and International Cooperation of Malawi. Foreign Minister of Barbados. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Solomon Islands. The Minister of External Affairs and Foreign Trade of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Minister of International Relations and Cooperation of Namibia. The Minister of the Interior of Cyprus. High Commissioner to the United Kingdom of Botswana. Special Foreign Affairs Advisor of Bangladesh. High Commissioner to the UK of Grenada. Deputy High Commissioner to the United Kingdom of Sri Lanka. Foreign Minister of Belize. Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade of Jamaica. Prime Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs of Kenya. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Pakistan. The Vice President of Nigeria. The Vice President of the Gambia. The Vice President of Seychelles. The Prime Minister of Singapore. Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea. Prime Minister of the Bahamas. Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Tonga. The President of Guyana. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation of the United Republic of Tanzania. Vice President of Uganda. Deputy Minister of International Relations of South Africa. Vice President of the Maldives. Deputy Prime Minister of Malta. Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Business, Trade and Energy of Dominica. Second Minister of Foreign Affairs of Brunei Darussalam. Prime Minister of Fiji. Prime Minister of Australia. Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. President of Ghana. We do apologize, and we welcome the Prime Minister of Fiji. The Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda. The King of Eswatini. The Prime Minister of Togo. The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. The President of Sierra Leone. Prime Minister of Cameroon, the Prime Minister of Lesotho, the Prime Minister of Vanuatu, the Prime Minister of Tuvalu, the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Secretariat, the President of Rwanda, the Prime Minister of Samoa, His Majesty, the King Charles III, Head of the Commonwealth. Please remain upstanding for the national anthem of Samoa. Your Majesties, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am required to provide a short report on our preparations towards Jogam. Our long journey to the events of this week started when we announced our bid to host this meeting in Malta in 2015. This was formalized in London in Jogam 2018, and we were finally endorsed at the Jogam in Rwanda as hosts for Jogam 2024. The task force was appointed in March 2022, comprising senior-level public servants under the chairmanship of the Prime Minister. 14 subcommittees were set up to ensure the commitments of the Blue Book were satisfied. We worked on the premise that no new facilities would be built, but provided with good makeovers. This was our response to being resilient. We made it, and we are here to celebrate that with all of you. We pay tribute to the development partners that have worked alongside with us in our long journey to ensure that we started and ended our journey well. We also recognized the contributions and support from our small but dedicated private sector. We pay tribute to our Blue Pacific region for their support and contributions through new regional initiatives in areas where we were short of resources. And our communities are to be congratulated for their voluntary efforts to ensure that Samoa presents itself well to our Commonwealth family. We also thank the ComSec for their advice and guidance. And finally, I wish to acknowledge the dedication of our public service for the exemplary teamwork. And we thank everyone who have kept us in their prayers throughout the long 18 months. Thank you very much.
Your Majesties, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is customary in Samoa and in the Pacific that we start every ceremony that we have with prayer. It is my great pleasure to invite His Grace Archbishop Mosese Vito Leotui for our opening prayer.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Thank you, Lord, for the gift of the Commonwealth. Thank you, Lord, for the gift of the 56 nations represented in this Commonwealth family. Thank you for the gift of the Commonwealth leaders. Thank you for the fellowship and friendship. Thank you for the bonds of unity. Tulo, tulo, tulo. Whaftaile tuelo alofa ya Samoa. Wa mātou tali malo le nei whanotanga tāua. I oe e te wha au lo mātou atu nupele. A whio mai e whamanuia o mātou taitai. Taitai o atunu o le mātou atunu. Taitai o le mātou malo. Taitai o nuu mai e kālesia. Whamanuia le tua i o mātou mātua. Ma le au mātutua. O mātou matua tausi. Lātou whaiva whapwhepo. A wale manuia o ainga, o nuu mai e kālesia. A whio mai o elo mātou atua, e whapa ia ma whamanuia i au whengaluenga i le atua, i so se whata whai taulanga, no manu le langi, a wase ai o Samoa. Le atuae, o lou anga lelei ma lou whai mea lelei mo Samoa, wa le tasi a e lasi. Sa o whala lelei o lau pule lea. We gathered to embrace the gift of life. Life is the greatest gift our Creator, our God gave us. What we do with this life is the greatest gift we give our Creator, our God. Therefore, O Lord, it is in our giving we receive. It is in our loving we continue to grow. It is in our helping others we are strong. It is in our sharing we are honored and become truly human. Lord, make all of us gathered here instruments of your love. Lord, make all our leaders promoters of peace and harmony. Lord, may the Commonwealth family become a signs and bearers of hope and faith. Lord, make all of us instruments of joy and happiness. Lord, make our leaders instruments of transforming our Commonwealth. Lord, make our leaders instruments of development and growth. Come, O God, bless our leaders with the wisdom to utilize our collective resources to create a prosperous future. God bless our leaders with the courage to address and embrace the many global challenges that come our way. God bless our leaders with the heart to commit to the welfare of our people and our countries. God bless our 56 nations to live peacefully and in unity with each other. God bless our Pacific leaders to embrace the fact that we are not small island states, but big ocean states. God bless our effort, our work, our endeavor to preserve and protect our ocean, our Moana, our Pacifica, for our future generations. God bless us all with the realization that the answer is in our hands, and united we stand. God bless all of us gathered here today, make us happy, and make us love each other. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
I thank the Archbishop, His Grace, Moses Vitolio Tui, for the blessing of this gathering. It is now my honor to invite the Prime Minister of Samoa, Honorable Fiona Naomi Mataafa, to deliver her welcome address as the chair of the 27th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting.
Your Grace, Archbishop Moses Vitolio Tui, Your Majesties, Your Highnesses, the Commonwealth Secretary General, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. The people of Samoa have been eagerly awaiting your arrival. The leaders and delegates of CHOIGUM 2024. Therefore, on behalf of the government, and especially the people of Samoa, it is my pleasure and honor to officially welcome all of you to the 27th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. This is a historic first to be hosted by a small island state in the Blue Pacific continent. And it is also the first meeting under the leadership of Your Majesty, King Charles III, as the head of our Commonwealth family. We also gather in Samoa as we celebrate 75 years of the modern Commonwealth. Thus, we pause to pay tribute to those who have paved the way for where we are today. In particular, the late Queen Elizabeth II, for her stellar leadership of our family, but more importantly, her unifying role. Our theme, One Resilient Common Future, Transforming Our Commonwealth, highlights the importance of a united Commonwealth ainga or family. Samoa chose the critical focus on resilience as it transcends all pillars of the Commonwealth, prioritizing collective action that weaves resilience into all choices for a Commonwealth where societies stand strong, institutions uphold justice, environments flourish, and economies thrive. The Whasamoa, or Samoan way of life, exemplifies collective responsibility, encapsulating values such as respect, dignity, love, protection, and service. This ethos aligns with the principles of the Commonwealth Charter, uniting the Commonwealth ainga of 56 nations, representing 1/3 of the global population. When we speak of a Commonwealth family or ainga, you will note that our choice of theme and policy focus centers on the criticality of family to community and a country. As we say in Samoa, ole ainga, ole anu fale, o whioanga. The ainga is the core and essence of communities and organizations. This family of nations, diverse in size and development status, if we focus on what unites us, our people will remain resilient. We share common beliefs and values where every member's contribution is significant. Our decision to invite only one special guest from our neighbor and kin, American Samoa, demonstrates the value we give to family or ainga. Over the years, we have established a framework called Atoa Samoa, or the Samoans Together, by which the two countries, though governed under different administrations, meet annually to discuss areas of shared priorities and mutual benefit. The leaders of our Commonwealth ainga meet every 2 years to deliberate on how to better the lives of our citizens and I hope we will move closer to this goal through our deliberations this week. What really defines our Commonwealth family are the values enshrined in the Commonwealth Charter and the commitment to good governance, the rule of law, and the protection of rights. The Commonwealth has been a constant in Samoa's journey as an independent nation, partnering to promote and advance shared goals of development, democracy, human rights, freedom, and peace. They stood with us when we went through our constitutional crisis in 2021. But it was evident these values, especially the pillars of our society, our faith, culture, and the rule of law, continues to carry us through as a stable and peaceful nation. We are in a new era of leadership. The Commonwealth we need is on the front lines of global challenges, and our strength lies in spotlighting issues that might otherwise be overlooked. The hosting of CHOGM 2024 in the Pacific is a great opportunity for all to experience our lived reality, especially with climate change. It is the greatest threat to the survival and security of our Pacific people. Samoa, the first independent state in the Pacific, is a key advocate of ambitious climate action in order to keep the promise of 1.5 degree. We have a youthful population. Many of them are on migration journeys under labor mobility schemes. We are not on track for some of our SDGs, but we are working at pace, commensurate with available resources and strengthened cultural safety nets. We contribute to United Nations peacekeeping, but we have no military. We know that where there is no peace, there will be no prosperity. Your Majesties, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in passing the leadership torch from Rwanda to Samoa, we have inherited a legacy of reconciliation of division, bold leadership, and stewardship in maximizing the use of resources in order to harness potential from every man, woman, and child. We thank Rwanda for their leadership lessons we have learned from their experience to guide us in our journey over the next 2 years. We also laud the excellent and passionate leadership of the Right Honourable Patricia Scotland, a true champion of small island states and a friend of Samoa. Finally, you are all invited to reduce the CHOGM carbon footprint from air travel emissions and create a CHOGM lowland forest as part of the Vailima Botanical Garden, where all countries have been allocated space to plant one of our native species and kickstart Samoa's national carbon offset program. Many of you could not stop talking about how far Samoa was. All we have to say is, welcome to our reality. Now you know the lengths we as Pacific people will go to tell our story, to defend our positions, but more importantly, to protect our people, our land, and our way of life. Your being here already makes it a successful Chogam in Samoa. May we wish you safe journeys home when you return, and I am confident that you will take a piece of our beautiful Samoa with you. Thank you for coming. God bless you. Soifu.
It is my honor to now invite the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, the Right Honourable Patricia Scotland, for her remarks.
Your Grace, Your Majesties, Your Excellencies, Honourable Ministers, partners, colleagues, friends, fellow citizens of our beloved Commonwealth. As the torch passes from the land of 1,000 hills and the tender, and I must say loving care of our outgoing chair in office, President Paul Kagame, to the guardianship of the big blue Pacific, I want to take this opportunity to thank him on behalf of our whole family for his skillful stewardship and the generosity of his government and the people of Rwanda. As I want to warmly thank the Prime Minister, the government, and the people of Samoa for welcoming us to the beautiful, the enchanting islands of Samoa, a place that reminds us of the interconnectedness of our world, the richness of our diversity, and the strength of our unity. I've spoken to so many in the last few days, and I wonder how many overstayers the Prime Minister will now have, because everybody is saying they have found their village where they belong. This is a very special experience for all of us. And I want to say something very simple to all members of our family, our Aina. Thank you. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for your outstanding work. Thank you for giving me the opportunity and the privilege of serving you as your 6th Secretary General. We have been through a lot, and I'm proud of what we have achieved. In April 2016, I stood before the people of the Commonwealth for the first time and shared our collective hope and determination, shaped by our Commonwealth Charter and the historic global agreements on climate change and sustainable development reached the previous year. The goals of those agreements remain our goals today as we strive for ever greater resilience, with our young people at our very heart. Together, with clear-eyed, decisive, and effective reform, we have turned the tide. Our working practices are smart, digitalized, agile, and responsive. Our ability to bring people and nations together stronger than ever. And our program of practical support and assistance for all our member states is broader, more comprehensive, and more impactful now than at any time in our 75-year history. Upon the strong foundation of reform, every one of the promises I made to you on taking office has been delivered. every mandate enacted, every request for support responded to. A smart, modern, confident Commonwealth restored as an influential and indispensable force for good in our world. We have delivered this together in the face of immense and unprecedented and unpredictable challenges, which have shaped the experience of the last 8 years. The gravity, scale, and complexity of these challenges cannot be underestimated. The profound intensification of our economic challenges, fueled by destabilizing global conflict and a devastating pandemic, which shut down our nations and claimed the lives of more than 1.3 million of our Commonwealth brothers and sisters. The accelerating impacts of climate change and ecological breakdown, causing more frequent and devastating disasters, destroying lives and livelihoods, threatening years of hard-won progress. Mounting pressure on the process, culture, and institutions of democracy. These crises have interconnected, entwined, and worsened one another, amplifying existing inequalities, spreading instability, and bringing forward to the tipping point for conflict. And they underline the essential paradox of the world today. At the same time, more connected and fuller of opportunity than at any other time in human history, yet more fragmented, complex, dangerous than any of us can remember. This reality insists that we are dependent upon each other. We work together, or we suffer in isolation. It is this togetherness that the real strength and value of the Commonwealth Aina can be found. For 75 years, we have demonstrated an unparalleled ability to confound the painful history which brought us together and sit together as equals. For 75 years, when faced with some of the history's gravest challenges, we have stood tall when it mattered most. We have kept our connections strong, and as a result, in a changing world, we can defend our shared values and advance our shared interests with clarity and purpose. This is not simply a point of principle. It makes a practical difference to our member states. In the last 8 years, we have done so much. The Blue Charter, the Living Lands Charter, the common sensing, the issues in relation to our connectivity. We now have an inter-Commonwealth trade which is expected to reach 1 trillion by 2026, 2 trillion by 2030. And intra-Commonwealth investment has tripled since I took office in 2016. Our young people have been put at the heart of our decision-making, and the Youth Development Index has been a gift from the Commonwealth to the world, now an essential tool in enhancing opportunities. Our Commonwealth Says No More campaign to end violence against women and girls, the work on making government effective, our partnerships, our innovation, our artificial intelligence work, all of that in the last 8 years. Together with working across 27 countries with the quiet but essential preventative diplomacy which diffuses tension, prevents conflict, and builds peace. This is just a snapshot of what we have achieved together. But it all comes down to one word, our theme here in Samoa: resilience. A resilient Commonwealth, rooted in and fueled by a technological revolution which I have been absolutely determined to help our member states understand, master, and harness. The comprehensive CHOGM 2024 SDG, Digital, AI, Green Energy Performance Analysis Report for our 56 countries will provide us with a baseline for action. How we approach this revolution will determine the difference between our future success or failure. The challenge is how. Data is not and cannot be all. The answer is people. The answer always is our people. The contribution that each of our members make as leaders are able to make, the capacity of our governments, the governments led by the leaders who sit on this platform, wonderful leaders, to use the data to liberate the ingenuity, the imagination, and the potential of our citizens, the citizens you serve, and our capacity as a Commonwealth to serve you and one another. That single word, service, is our defining characteristic. In 1947, before she became Queen, at the dawn of a new age, Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, who served us all for so long as head of the Commonwealth, with duty and distinction, said this: "If we all go forward together with an unwavering faith, a high courage, and a quiet heart, we shall be able to make of this ancient Commonwealth, which we all love so dearly, an even grander thing. More free, more prosperous, more happy, and a more powerful influence for the world, for good in the world." In the same speech, Her Majesty vowed to devote her whole life, whether it be long or short, to our service. She fulfilled that vow. And as we remember her today, we welcome with joy His Majesty King Charles III to his first CHOGM as head of our Commonwealth family. Your Majesty has been in our thoughts and in our prayers, and we are so happy you are with us today. We take heart from the strength of Your Majesty's commitment and from the wisdom and optimism of your advice when you describe the modern Commonwealth's near boundless potential as a force for good in the world, which, you said, demands our highest ambition. At this CHOGM, we have the opportunity to fulfill that ambition, to stand together as a smart Commonwealth, a connected Commonwealth, a modern, technologically driven, innovative, and successful Commonwealth. A Commonwealth with the capacity and confidence not merely to face the future, but to build it, bringing people together, drawing strength and inspiration from what we share to create genuinely durable family of nations in which no one is left behind. Advancing the goal of a more secure, peaceful, fair, and sustainable world for everyone, everywhere, in which we can all enjoy the kind of prosperity which harnesses new technology and is achieved in harmony with nature, safeguarding our unique and only planet for generations to come. This is our history and our promise, our experience and our aspiration. And it is the flame of opportunity which I will pass with pride and gratitude to my successor as Secretary General, who will be able to continue the journey of reform, delivery, and leadership. They will be uniquely blessed, as I have been, to hold this office and to serve our precious Commonwealth. And I have one piece of advice for them, something that I have learnt right here in Samoa. And every Samoan and my dear beloved sister, the Prime Minister, will have to forgive me because my intonation is terrible. So maybe you'll say it with me. Oli ali ai li puli oli taitau, which I think should have said, the path to leadership is service. I am immensely grateful to heads of government for the faith they placed in me in Malta in 2015 and again in Kigali in 2022. I am grateful for the friendship, the partnership, and the contributions of every member state and every member of our Secretariat. To work with and serve you all has been the greatest privilege of my life. I will stand with you all as you continue to strive together in restless and practical pursuit of the global common good. And I thank you and ask God to bless each of you.
It is my pleasure to now invite the President of Rwanda, His Excellency Paul Kagame, the outgoing chair in office, for his remarks.
Your Majesties, Your Highness, the Head of State of Samoa, Prime Minister of Samoa, Excellencies, Secretary General, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased to join you for the 2024 Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. To the government and the people of Samoa, our host, I thank you for the warm welcome and hospitality. It has been a great honor for Rwanda to serve as chair in office for the past 2 years. I congratulate Prime Minister Fiame Naomi Matafa and wish you every success as chair. Rwanda stands ready to support you. It is also fitting for us to thank the Secretary General for her distinguished service to our organization during her historic tenure. This year's meeting marks yet another milestone in the history of the Commonwealth family. Samoa is the first Pacific island state to host CHOGM. This comes at a turning point. Temperatures are rising, and for small island developing states in the Pacific and the Caribbean, this is literally a matter of survival. Africa and Asia also share this burden. 2/3 of the world's small states are members of the Commonwealth. We cannot ignore the voices of those who are bearing the brunt of this crisis, and they should not have to beg for our support. As we head to COP29 in a few weeks, let's act and lead by example. Making empty promises can only move the needle for so long. We continue to support His Majesty, the King's Sustainable Markets Initiative as a blueprint for public-private partnerships and green investment throughout the Commonwealth. Indeed, what will make us cross the finish line in the fight against climate change is more finance from wealthy countries. Still, our collective efforts must not stop there. The terms must be favorable without pushing developing countries into more debt. The Commonwealth's comparative advantage remains its young and vibrant population. Creating digital jobs for women and young people should remain at the top of the agenda this year. We must rely on the potential of innovation and technology to resolve the daunting challenge of rising unemployment and irregular migration. This is also a good way to bridge the skills gap and the imbalances in human capital development opportunities between our regions. Artificial intelligence should not become a problem. If we use it responsibly and establish sound policies, we can transcend the realm of our imagination and become even more resilient. Earlier this year, the Commonwealth turned 75. What was once an association of 8 countries is now one of 56. Equality, diversity, and solidarity are the values that bind us together. Because of this, where we have the opportunity to right our wrongs, let's do that and find a consensus that can stand the test of time. With respect for each other and our differences, we can move forward towards our common future. I thank you.
It is now my distinguished honor to welcome the head of the Commonwealth, His Majesty the King Charles III, to address us.
Oliao le Malo, Your Majesty, Secretary General, Presidents, Prime Ministers, ladies and gentlemen. Since this is the first occasion on which I find myself attending this gathering of our family of nations as head of the Commonwealth, it gives my wife and myself enormous pleasure and pride to be with you for this 27th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. I would particularly like to thank the government and people of Samoa for your warm-hearted hospitality and for showing us all the island way, which I recall so fondly ever since I first visited the Pacific region almost 6 decades ago. The Commonwealth mattered a great deal to my dear mother, the late Queen. Her commitment to you all, as that of my grandfather, King George VI, before her, is one which has helped to shape my own life for as long as I can remember. Since my first visit to Malta, aged just 5 in 1954, I have traveled to almost every corner of the Commonwealth. I have met remarkable people in every conceivable walk of life and learned a great deal from so many proud cultures and traditions. All of this has given me an unshakable faith in the special nature of our Commonwealth and the extraordinary value it holds. This is a family, or ainga, as our Samoan hosts would say, of countries, of organizations, and of people. All nations are equal in this unique and voluntary association. This year, as you all know, is the 75th anniversary of the Commonwealth, and incidentally, shortly to be my 76th. And throughout that time, we have committed ourselves to developing free and democratic societies and promoting peace and prosperity for all. This endeavor underpins how we understand and tackle contemporary and emerging challenges, rooted in our shared belief in the rule of law and an international order where every nation has a voice. Together, we represent a third of humanity, with all the splendidly diverse complexity that this entails. And yet, we know and understand each other such that we can discuss the most challenging issues with openness and respect. At a time of heightened global tensions, of horrifying conflict, and challenges of the greatest magnitude, it seems to me that these connections between us are more precious than ever. Together we are wiser, stronger, and more able to respond to the demands of our time. That said, our cohesion requires that we acknowledge where we have come from. I understand from listening to people across the Commonwealth how the most painful aspects of our past continue to resonate. It is vital, therefore, that we understand our history to guide us to make the right choices in the future. where inequalities exist, for example, in access to opportunity, to education, to skills training, to employment, to health, and to a planet in whose climate our human race can both survive and thrive, we must find the right ways and the right language to address them. As we look around the world and consider its many deeply concerning challenges, let us choose within our Commonwealth family the language of community and respect, and reject the language of division. None of us can change the past, but we can commit with all our hearts to learning its lessons and to finding creative ways to right inequalities that endure. Nothing, it seems to me, would do so more decisively than to champion the principle that our Commonwealth is one of genuine opportunity for all. This principle has guided so much that I have sought to do throughout my life. In the United Kingdom and around the Commonwealth, I have tried, in whatever way I can, to foster opportunity, particularly for young people and for those whose voices might not otherwise be heard. That is why, when we met in Malta nearly a decade ago, I asked the then Prince's Trust, now the King's Trust, which is shortly to celebrate its 50th anniversary, to expand its work internationally and across the Commonwealth. I'm delighted that the King's Trust International will next year be celebrating its 10th birthday, and that with local partners, its important work has already reached over 100,000 young people in this time. In this spirit, and following the conversations with the many leaders of island states gathered here, I asked the Association of Commonwealth Universities and its numerous members to consider the vital issue of access to education. I am delighted, therefore, by the offer to launch a new Commonwealth Fellowship program for students from the small island states to build skills that will underpin a resilient future, such as in nursing, teaching, engineering, and the green transition. A further urgent challenge, and one that conditions all other challenges, as I've done my best to emphasize for many years, is the existential threat of climate change. I've spoken with many of you in the recent past, and I now find that climate change is raised as a primary concern, again and again. We are well past believing it is a problem for the future, since it is already undermining the development gains we have long fought for. This year alone, we have seen terrifying storms in the Caribbean, devastating flooding in East Africa, and catastrophic wildfires in Canada. Lives, livelihoods, and human rights are at risk across the Commonwealth. I can only offer every encouragement for action with unequivocal determination to arrest rising temperatures by cutting emissions, building resilience as far as possible to both the current and forecast impacts of climate change, and conserving and restoring nature both on land and in the sea. If we do not, then inequalities across the Commonwealth and beyond will only be exacerbated with the potential to fuel division and conflict. Over many years, it has become clear to me that public finance, while crucial, will never be sufficient on its own to tackle all of this, let alone achieve any of the United Nations development goals, especially in the timeframes required. The Commonwealth, therefore, has an opportunity to work together with the private sector and civil society to unlock private sector capital for this mission, and in so doing, promote trade and investment and opportunities for young people. I was encouraged to hear yesterday from leading members of the private sector that they recognize their ability and indeed their responsibility to aid and invest in climate transition, in resilience, and in nature restoration. I do hope that in your conversations you are able to answer some of the key questions to achieve this aim, from how to address barriers to investment, to agreeing upon routes to use public finance to encourage private investment, and crucially, how public-private civil society partnerships can be forged so that such arrangements are fair and transparent for all. If, ladies and gentlemen, the Commonwealth can succeed with this endeavor, then it will be an indispensable example to the rest of the world. Together we can expand opportunities across this family of nations to build shared prosperity and truly resilient economies, while also meeting growing challenges such as disinformation and extremism, and ensuring that the untold potential of technology, including artificial intelligence and social media, works for our societies, not against them. We can surely try to invest in as many as possible of the 1.5 billion people under the age of 30 in the Commonwealth to ensure they have the right personal development. This means skills, opportunities, and entrepreneurial drive, as well as the ability to thrive and prosper in this changing world while being shielded from the negative aspects of technologies. I know from speaking to many of you in recent months and from all that I have heard from around the Commonwealth that these are among the issues that matter most to you and your people. I am pleased that they resonate strongly with the themes that Samoa has chosen for this CHOGM. I can only hope over the days ahead that you will make meaningful progress on these matters. So doing, I trust you will take inspiration from the Pacific Way, working with respect, compassion, and compromise as your guides. Ladies and gentlemen, few of our forebears could have imagined the Commonwealth of today, our free association of proudly independent nations, alive with opportunity, stands in proud defiance of the discrimination of the past. We have not reached this point by accident. Shared vision and collective courage have been our lodestar. As we set a course for the century ahead, we can renew our courage with our faith in one another. For my part, I can assure you today that for however many years God grants me, I will join you and the people of the Commonwealth on every step of this journey. Let us learn from the lessons of the past. Let us be proud of who we are today, and together, let us forge a future of harmony with nature and between ourselves that our children and our grandchildren deserve.
Your Majesties, Excellencies, special guests, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to introduce a performance by our youth under the leadership of the Matawai Pacific Cultural Arts and our choirs from the Ma'alua and Piula Theological Colleges. Our youth and our two theological colleges would like to portray our diverse, unique, but resilient cultures and traditions of our Samoa and our Pacific region. Enjoy.
such love, peace, and hope for us.
There are bridges as we travel on in our journey today, come tomorrow.
We are gathered here, the Commonwealth we are, to save our Commonwealth and future. Save it,
Save it,
save it, save it.
let the beacon of hope shine on. We sing it, we stand for.
With the strength that defies all odds, we'll rise up despite our fall.
In resistance is what we go on, and transforming our world as we move on.
We provide and share for now and beyond. The special and mutual call, sharing.
Oh, there'll be no hunger no more.
Crisis, diseases, no war.
Send the legacy,
The only people suffer
never give up. Never give up.
Let's roll and be strong. Never give up to share. Welcome to Samoa.
Be strong to protect our common future and Commonwealth. Please remember us in your hearts as we live through your time. We are the future, tomorrow's generation.
Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of our program, and I hope you have enjoyed the short entertainment. May I now invite the official photographers to come forward to take the family photograph. The first photo will be taken whilst the leaders are seated. I respectfully ask His Majesty, the leaders, and the Secretary General of the Commonwealth to stand up for the second take of the family photo. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, I kindly request that you remain seated as their majesties and their excellencies exit the stage and are guided out of the conference center to their vehicles. We wish them well on their deliberations, and especially when the executive session and the leaders retreat. At this point, I would like to ask their majesties to depart from the stage. And now I will call the head of state of Samoa to depart from our and the Council of Deputies. May I ask His Majesty, the King of Eswatini, Your Excellencies, our leader from Rwanda, Samoa, and the Secretary General. Your Excellencies, may I now ask our new leaders who will be joining His Majesty, our leaders from Fiji, Lesotho, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Singapore, Tuvalu, the United Kingdom, Vanuatu, and Togo. Your Excellencies, may I now call upon those who will be joining the Secretary General at the luncheon. May I ask Your Excellencies of Cameroon, Sierra Leone, Trinidad and Tobago, Togo, Antigua and Barbuda, may I now call upon Ghana, Australia, Brunei Darussalam, Dominica, Malta, and Maldives. Thank you for your patience. I now call upon South Africa, Uganda, the United Republic of Tanzania, Guyana, and Tonga. We appreciate your patience, Your Excellencies. Congratulations, Your Excellency.